Alright, hi and welcome back to another Midlifers episode. So today is a very interesting episode because I recently got my hands on this Sigma 17 to 40 1.8 lens, and I'm using it with my FX30, which is an APS-C camera. This is an APS-C lens. So I was thinking that maybe it can give the same look as a 24-70 equivalent 2.8 lens. So I brought out my full frame camera, which is the A1. And I also brought out my 28-70 f2, but I've stopped it down to 2.8. So now we have a full frame lens at 2.8 as you're seeing now, and 1.8 on the APS-C. So you can get roughly similar background blurs as you have seen from this talking head shot. So as I come closer, you can see that the background blurs almost the same amount. So let's see if they actually look the same and if you can substitute your bulky and heavy and expensive full frame setup for a cheaper, just as good, just as aesthetic APS-C setup. Alright, so I've set both cameras up. I have adjusted shutter speed to compensate, so you should get the same exposure. Let's see if the look is the same, different and at different focal lengths. So this is the widest, and this is how I look, and this is the background. Alright, so to make this a fair test, I'm going to stop down my f2 lens to a 2.8 because the equivalent depth of field look that you get out of the APS-C lens at 1.8 is equivalent to a 2.8 full frame lens. So let's compare it this way, and the images should look roughly the same. So we're at its widest focal length on both lenses. So you can see that the G Master is a bit tighter because it's 28mm. While the Sigma works out to be around a 25 plus mm. Alright, so we're shooting the shade. There's some sun hitting the lenses now. So you can see this is how it looks with me in it. Alright, so I tried to match the focal lengths as best as I can. So you can see the background. Right, bit of wildlife over here. Alright, so this is how I look on the Sigma lens at 1.8, and this is how I look on the full frame lens at 2.8. So it's a talking head. I'm about 3 meters away from the camera. So as I get closer, we can see that there should be more background blur. So this is the Sigma at 1.8, and this is the full frame at 2.8. So I'm going to go further back. So this is how I look about 6 meters away from the camera. So we are fully zoomed in on the Sigma, and I matched to around 60mm on the full frame. So it should look similar. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video and hope you enjoyed the footage. So my take on this is that even though you can get similar background blur from the Sigma versus the full frame, I think that the character is still a bit different. It's whether you like one over the other. The amount of background blur that you can get from the APS-C is pretty much comparable to the 2.8 on a full frame. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys want me to test with this lens. So I've been loving this lens. It's been stuck on my FX30 ever since I got it a week ago. And I've been so inspired to make more videos because it's so much lighter, it's cheaper, and I won't cry if I break it versus my 2870 over here. So even though the look is not the same, I get a really nice image out of the APS-C system. And if you're trying to save some money, I think this is a very good buy. This APS-C system would rival a full frame setup unless you have even better lenses on your full frame. Bye!